What if AI could think like us, flaws and all? As tech giants push AI boundaries, we're left wondering if we're creating machines that mirror not just our intelligence, but our very humanity. Kevin Scott, the chief technology officer of Microsoft, dropped a bombshell at their recent Build event. He compared the evolution of their AI supercomputers to marine life, and folks, we're entering whale territory. Back in 2020, Microsoft built its first AI supercomputer for OpenAI. This was the system that trained GPT-3, and Scott compared it to a shark. Isn't that impressive? And by 2022, they had built another system to train GPT-4. This one was apparently the size of an orca. That's a massive leap in scale right there. Well, according to Scott, you can build a whole hell of a lot of AI with a whale-sized supercomputer. This gigantic machine is hard at work right now, cooking up the next set of capabilities that will eventually land in our hands. Scott believes we're nowhere near the point of diminishing returns when it comes to AI model power. In his words, we're not even close to diminishing returns with the power of AI models. That's a pretty bold statement, especially coming from someone who likely knows the size and power of what could be GPT-5. So, what's the timeline for this whale-sized model? Well, Scott was a bit vague, only saying it would be within K months. Meanwhile, Sam Altman, CEO of OpenAI, didn't give any hints about a release date. But what groundbreaking AI abilities might emerge by 2030? While Microsoft is busy building its AI whale, other companies aren't sitting idle. Let's shift our focus to Google and see what they've been up to. While Microsoft has been making waves with its whale analogy, Google was quietly pushing the boundaries with its Gemini models. At their recent Google I/O event, they made a whopping 123 mentions of AI, but they might have buried the lead when it comes to their impressive Gemini 1.5 Pro and Gemini 1.5 Flash models. Gemini 1.5 Pro is a powerhouse that can handle up to 1 million tokens of input. That's way more than GPT-4, though it's worth noting that Gemini 1.5 Pro doesn't quite match GPT-4's overall performance. But here's the real part. Google introduced something called adaptive compute. Well, it's the mechanism that essentially lets the models think for longer. This approach led to a new record score on the math benchmark, a stunning 91.1%. That's on par with human expert performance, and they've achieved it without code execution using improved libraries, Google Search, or other tools. While Google and Microsoft are pushing the boundaries of what's possible, another company is taking a different approach. They're not just building bigger models, they're trying to understand how these models think. Anthropic's team just pulled off something incredible. They peeked inside the brain of their AI Claude 3 Sonnet. Using a clever technique called sparse autoencoders, they uncovered a treasure trove of abstract concepts hiding in the model's neural pathways. We're talking features that recognize famous people, countries, and even subtle code patterns across languages and different types of media. It's like they found the AI's internal dictionary, but way cooler. What's truly remarkable is that many of these features were multilingual and multimodal. Some of the features Anthropic uncovered were particularly interesting from a safety perspective. They found features related to security vulnerabilities in code, bias, including subtle biases and overt slurs, lying and deception, power-seeking behaviors, sycophancy, and even dangerous or criminal content. However, Anthropic cautions against overinterpreting these findings. They emphasized that there's a difference between a model knowing about these concepts and actually engaging in harmful behaviors. As AI continues to advance, understanding the minds of these models becomes increasingly crucial for ensuring their safe and beneficial development. But while Anthropic was making these groundbreaking discoveries, not everything was smooth sailing at OpenAI. While Microsoft, Google, and Anthropic were making headlines with their advancements, OpenAI found itself in choppy waters. Ilya Sutskever, one of OpenAI's big brains, gave a thumbs up to OpenAI's mission of building safe AI that won't go all Skynet on us in his goodbye speech when leaving the company. Now, this safe intelligence thing is super interesting, creating an AI that's smart enough to solve world hunger. It's like trying to raise the perfect child, brilliant but also well-behaved. How do you even do that with a computer brain? Speaking of which, OpenAI faced criticism for including a clause in their contract that could potentially cancel an employee's equity for speaking out against the company. Sam Altman, OpenAI's CEO, apologized for this and promised to fix it for any former employees who were worried about it. But the drama didn't stop there. Jan LeCun, the former head of AI safety at OpenAI, left the company and immediately spoke out. He emphasized the need for OpenAI to act as if artificial intelligence is coming soon and urged employees to feel the AGI. There were also reports that OpenAI hadn't delivered on a promise to keep 20% of their compute resources to a super alignment project. This broken promise seems like a big deal, especially given the emphasis OpenAI has placed on developing safe and beneficial AI. Could it change how they make future AI models? It's a complex situation, isn't it? But despite these challenges, OpenAI continues to push forward. In fact, let's take a look at some of the updates they shared recently. Despite the internal turbulence, OpenAI hasn't slowed down its pace of innovation. At Microsoft's Build event, Sam Altman shared some exciting updates about the progress they're making. First, the adoption rate of their AI models has been skyrocketing. From GPT-3 to GPT-4, the models have become smarter, more robust, and safer. Altman assures us that they're only going to keep improving. But it's not just about smart. Speed and cost are crucial too. With GPT-4, they managed to cut the price in half and double the speed. That's a significant improvement that makes these powerful models more accessible to developers and businesses. As we step back and look at the bigger picture, it's clear that we're in the midst of a major technological revolution. The advancements we're seeing in AI are comparable to the internet and mobile revolutions, but potentially even more transformative. Microsoft's Kevin Scott pointed out that since 2012, the amount of computing power being applied to training AI models has been increasing exponentially. And remember, he believes we're nowhere near the point of diminishing returns. Look at Microsoft. They're making this thing called Copilot work smoothly in all their stuff. It's like having a super smart helper no matter what Microsoft thing you're using. At Google, they've got these Gemini models that are crazy smart. They can do things as well as humans can, even the tricky stuff. It's mind-blowing to say the least. And then there's Anthropic. They're like AI detectives figuring out how these smart computer brains actually work. This could help us make AI that we control better and actually understand. And it's not just about raw capabilities either. These advancements are opening up new possibilities in fields like education. Khan Academy, for instance, is using fine-tuned models to provide personalized math tutoring at scale. They're aiming to offer these AI-powered tools for free to students across the US, potentially revolutionizing how we approach education. But as exciting as this all is, it also raises important questions. As these models become more powerful and more integrated into our daily lives, how do we ensure they remain safe and beneficial? Companies like OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, and Anthropic are actively working on these challenges, but we as a society also need to grapple with them. So as we've seen, the AI landscape is evolving at a breakneck pace, with each development more mind-blowing than the last. From whale-sized models to AI mind reading, the future of AI is both exciting and challenging. So what are your thoughts on these developments? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more AI insights.